Welcome to lesson 1 in the series of 20 free maths lesson video thingies. Please remember that you are allowed to say not possible, because some of the questions aren't possible. And you're also allowed to say I don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. That's fine. If you're saying I don't know to every question, then there's an issue and you might think, well, maybe I'm pushing myself too hard. I should be going away and practicing some of the basic skills. Anyway, please don't use a calculator. Let's get going. Here's your first question. As with all the questions, pause for as long as you need to, and then I'll see you back here and we can look at my answer. Okay, welcome back. I'm gonna put a square root in a circle, which indicates I'm square rooting both sides, which means x equals, what's the square root of 9? 3 or minus 3. Two possible answers. You can now use the time stamp to skip to the next question. In this case, I'm going to do a little bit of extra easy explanation, and then I'm going to do a little mini advanced explanation, just if you want. That's not how you spell advanced, is it? A little mini advanced explanation if you want some more thoughts. First one is, you're still a bit confused. X squared means x times x, which just means a number times itself. Well, then it must be 3 times 3, because that's how you make 9. So, yeah, happy? Sort of? If you're not happy, then that's something you can just put down as a thing to start working on. Keep going through this first video, enjoy all the questions, and get a big picture on where you are and if this feels like it's a good level. And there are bonus lessons attached which you can use, and you can also go and check out my book. I'm talking a bit more about this first question just as a kind of introduction, just to get us into these lessons, and I'll get snappier as they go by. Just to give a little advanced explanation again, just to add some context, just to get you into how I teach and stuff. I wouldn't actually do this that I've just shown you if I were teaching advanced students. I would say it's a quadratic, it's a nonlinear equation. We need to minus 9 from both sides because we want it to be equal to 0. Then we factorize because that's the approach for a nonlinear. And then we can say, oh well, one or the other must be equal to 0 because two things multiplied together equals 0. So that means that x minus 3 equals 0. Or, because that vertical line means or, x plus 3 equals 0. And then now I've got two linear equations which I can solve. I'll add 3 to both sides over here, which means x equals 3 in this version of reality. And in this version of reality, x equals minus 3. There we go. Let's move on to the next question. And like I said, stick with this for a bit, go through some of the questions, start getting a feeling for how this goes. Here's the next question. Pause the video, have a go in your own time. Welcome back. Not possible. Ta-da, that's my answer. I'm too lazy to write the word possible, can't be bothered. There are, count them, 1, 2, 3 unknowns. And how many equations are there? There's one equation. Therefore, with only one equation and 3 unknowns, it's impossible. To solve 3 unknowns, you need 3 equations. In general terms and conditions apply. Okay, next question. Remember, that was not possible. I'm going to give you another one. This is a solve. In general, these videos, these lessons all kick off with a few solve questions. I think that's generally my introduction to most maths lessons. Have a go in your own time. See you back here in a second. Right, I'm going to solve this with a little box. Just because this is a nice, easy way just to see what the answer is. Oh, well, that must be 2.5. Wait, no, that would make 10, so it must be minus, yes, that's it, minus 2.5, because then that's 5 times, minus 2.5 times 2 is minus 5, 5 minus 5 is 0. I mean, I would be happy with that, because I would call that by inspection. It's pretty obvious. If you want to do it a different way, you could say 5 plus 2x equals 0. You can minus 5 from both sides, which gives you 2x equals minus 5. Let me just shift this a bit. And then x equals minus 5 over 2. Oh, well, because I just did this, I forgot to write that down. I would argue that x is minus 5 over 2 is the better answer compared to x equals minus 2.5. Quick reminder, did you just watch that and think, oh, I don't want to watch Duncan waffling on that much? once I understood it. Remember, you can skip. There's time stamps so that you can skip to the next question. Let's do the next one. Here we go. Pause the video. Have a go in your own time. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to go and write this with a little box. 5 times something equals 0. But it's not 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Oh, it's 0. So that means x equals 0. Ta-da. You might have done this by dividing both sides by 5, maybe. I'm not totally happy with that, personally. Kind of bugs me a bit. I actually think it's better to do it by inspection, but each to their own. Next question. I'll clean up the whiteboard in a minute. Oh, this is a calculate question. It's not a solve question. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of calculate questions. You can have a go at them in your own time. Pause the video if you need to. Have a go in your own time. See you back in a second. I'm going to write my answers down. 2, 1, 0, 1, 4, 4, 0, 1, 6, 9, 0, 1. Let's make some observations. All the bottom row are 1, because if you divide a number by itself, then you just end up with 1. All these are 0, because if you take a number away from itself, you end up with 0. Notice, just want to make a little observation here, this is an exception. Normally, if you add a number to itself, or times it by itself, you end up with 2 different numbers. In the case of 2, you get the same number. This is very important because just beware when you're doing math, sometimes you think, oh, I've spotted a pattern. But if you were using the number 2, it's a good chance it wasn't a pattern. It was just a coincidence because the number 2 is really weird. Okay, have a go at this one. I'd like you to try and plot these two numbers. Have a go in your own time. I'm going to draw the axes. I'm going to try and be super quick here because this could be a bit of a drag. Obviously, I just keep marking the axes with all the numbers, 1, 2, minus 1, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to save time and not bother. 2, 5. Remember, I always remember as being in alphabetical order, so the first one is x, therefore the second one is y. So the first number is x, second number is y, which is 5, which is up here. I haven't actually labelled it. So that is where the first one is. Let's do this one in green. I'm measuring 0 along the x-axis, and then I'm measuring 3 along the y-axis, which means it goes there. There we go. Let's have a go at the next question. This says expand and simplify. Something like that anyway. I think my spelling's a bit off. Let's just shift this a bit. You want to be able to see the question though. Right. You might already have started doing that one. Apologies, I just wrote it wrong. There's no points for artwork here, so don't worry too much. If it really bugs you, you don't have to do the second one. I won't do it. I won't do the second one ever again. I just would like to do it once, just to kind of as a teaching point. Pause the video, have a go in your own time. See you back in a second. Okay, this 5. Remember that if there's no sign in there, is it a plus, minus, times, divide, something else? Well, it has to be a times because that's the only symbol which can be invisible. It's the only symbol with an invisibility cloak, so it's times, so it's 5 times 2, which is 10, 5 times 10, which is 50, which makes 60. You might also have just done that 2 plus 10 equals 12, and then just done 5 times 12. Let's answer the next one. I'll change colour. This is 5 times elephant. Did you realize that was an elephant? So that means, what's 5 times elephant? It's 5 elephants, yeah? And 5 times giraffe, so there's 5 giraffes. I like to do that once just to spell out the idea that, well, you're just literally timesing whatever you can see in there. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a number, a variable, or an animal. What's 5 times x? Well, it's just 5 x's because there's 5 of them. And then 5 times 3 makes 15. There we go. Let's have a go at the next question. And this is the final question. This is what I call same to both sides. If you listen to my technical introduction to the course, you'll have heard me talking about this. I'm going to split the screen up into 4. And I'm going to set 4 very similar questions. Now you've already seen what I mean when I put something in a circle. So you can have a go at this yourself if you like. Maybe at least have a go at one of them. Or if you really have no idea what I'm doing here, just watch and we'll get to the answer in a sec. I'm just going to write out all 5. Notice it's exactly the same equation. We've got 4 different functions, being plus, minus, times, and divide. I'm going to do the answers in, let's do the answers in black. Plus 5. Well then that would be 5x plus 20 is 35. You kind of happy with that? Not convinced? Let's just let's do this instead. 5x plus 15 plus 5 is 30 plus 5, which means 5x plus 20 is 35. Now minus 5. 5x plus 15 minus 5 equals 30 minus 5, which means 5x plus 10 is 25. What about divide by 5? By the way, if you haven't done this yet, pause video, have another think about this, and I'll see you in a sec. Right, well, I'm going to do 5x divided by 5 plus 15 divided by 5 is 30 divided by 5, which is x plus 3 equals 6. And then this one here, everything gets times by 5. Which is 25x plus 75 is 150. Right. Something very important here. You're kind of happy with what happened. Let's split this into 2 groups. When it's plus and minus, you do it once to each side. When it's times and divide, you do it once, listen carefully, to each thing, object. If that doesn't make sense, stare at it a bit longer. And if it still doesn't make sense, I've got a bonus lesson on this topic which you can watch, which you might watch before you then do lesson 2 or redo lesson 1 if you want some more practice, or go away and practice some other things first. Okay, well thanks for watching that, and see you in the next lesson.